You've probably seen those massive North Korean military parades, right? All that thunder and marching. But if you look closely, you might spot this woman. Just a faint, knowing smile on her face. She's not just some official. No, that's Kim Yo Jong, sister of the supreme leader. And that unassuming face, it hides a reputation that's, well, terrifying. Some are calling her the world's most dangerous woman.
And this is the thing that's so fascinating, right? It's this total paradox. On one hand, you've got the public image, the smiling diplomat, the loyal sister. And then, on the other hand, you have the reputation, the ruthless iron fist of Pyongyang. So how can one person be both? That's the mystery we're going to unpack.
So how did she get here? How did this, hidden princess become one of the most feared figures on the planet? It's a seriously calculated and kind of chilling story. We're going to trace her path from total obscurity right into the absolute heart of the North Korean regime.
And look, this isn't just some crazy media hype. We're talking about direct warnings from intelligence experts, from high-level defectors, the people who've actually seen how Pyongyang works from the inside. They all say the same thing. That quiet smile, it hides an absolute will of iron. And underestimating her, that would be a huge, huge mistake. To really get who she is today, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. Her childhood wasn't anything like normal. It was this carefully managed, super secretive upbringing that was designed from day one to groom her for a position right at the top.
I mean, she was practically born a ghost. Her exact birth year is still a state secret. She spent her youth in this isolated luxury before being shipped off abroad, completely undercover. Her first real appearance on the world stage was a pretty somber one, standing right beside her brother at their father's funeral. But for anyone watching closely, it was a massive signal. A brand new player had just entered the game.
Just think about the level of planning here for a second. While she was in Switzerland, she and her brother lived under fake names, pretending to be the kids of diplomats. Yeah, they were in a normal-looking apartment, but it was a total bubble, constantly monitored by officials, protected by a whole team of undercover bodyguards. They were acting like ordinary kids, but behind the curtain, the entire state machinery was at work.
So when she finally got back to North Korea, she didn't just become, an assistant. She became a strategist. This is where we really see her transform from that protected princess into a core architect of the modern Kim regime.
And her climb was so methodical, so deliberate. At just 23, she was already managing all of her brother's travel and security, a position of insane trust. From there, she moved right into the heart of the regime, the propaganda department. And within a year, she was the de facto chief, the real power behind the whole state media machine.
And we're not just talking about press releases. No, she was carefully crafting Kim Jong-un's entire public image. And why model him after their grandfather, Kim Il-sung? Simple, because in North Korea, the founder is basically treated like a god. So by making her brother look and act just like him, she was literally manufacturing divine legitimacy and absolute power. It was brilliant and terrifying.
Then came 2018. This was it, her big global debut. As the very first member of the ruling Kim family to set foot in South Korea since the war, her visit was, well, it was a seismic, historic moment, and the whole world was watching.
And boy, did she play her part perfectly. The media was absolutely captivated by her smile, her composure. This charm offensive was a masterclass, presenting the softer, more modern face for North Korea. But behind the scenes, at those historic summits with South Korea and the United States, she was always there, a silent, powerful advisor, making sure her brother's image was perfectly protected.
But that smiling diplomat? That was just one tool in her arsenal. The charm offensive couldn't last forever, and what happened next revealed the ruthless strategist that had been there the whole time. This was the moment the world finally heard her true voice.
Okay, so picture this. April 2020, her brother just vanishes. For weeks, the world's intelligence agencies are in a total panic. The rumors were flying. Was he dead? Was there a coup? And right in this moment of intense uncertainty, a new voice of power emerges from the silence.
And then, boom, her first ever personal statement, issued in her own name. And the language was just shocking. She compared South Korea to a barking dog trembling with fear. Her diplomatic image shattered in an instant. The message to the entire world was unmistakable and, frankly, chilling. It wasn't just an insult, it was a straight-up declaration of power. It basically said, if the supreme leader is gone, Do not doubt for a single second that I am here and I am ready to take the throne. She wasn't an advisor anymore. She was the regime's iron lady.
And her reputation is built on way more than just words. I mean, intelligence reports directly link her to the execution of her own uncle and even the assassination of her half-brother. She personally ordered the demolition of the Inter-Korean Liaison Office, a building that was a symbol of peace, and there are credible accounts of officials being executed just for perceived disrespect.
Her aggressive talk isn't just for her neighbors either. She has publicly insulted the President of the United States, calling him an old man with no future. I mean, come on, that is not the language of diplomacy. It's the language of someone with absolute, unchallenged power.
And her insults towards South Korea's leader? They're just as venomous. She dismissed him as America's hungry dog. It's just such a stark contrast to her smiling diplomacy back in 2018, and it reveals this much more aggressive personality, maybe even more so than her brother's.
Okay, so all of this brings us to the most critical question of all. What is her role right now, and what on earth does it mean for the future?
So her official title has to do with propaganda. But in reality, she is the de facto number 2. She sits on the State Affairs Commission, which is the highest decision-making body in the entire country. For all intents and purposes, she's basically a co-ruler.
And there's a really clear consensus on this among experts and high-level defectors. See, Kim Jong-un's children are way too young, so if he were to die suddenly, power wouldn't go to some council of old generals. Nope, it would go directly to her.
Which leaves us with this final, really chilling thought. The question isn't whether Kim Yo Jong is dangerous. We know she is. The real question is the world at all prepared for what might come next? A potential leader with her finger on a nuclear button who has already shown the world she may be even more ruthless and unpredictable than anyone who came before her?